Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome to my channel, Jurassic Collector here, and today I have a brand new review for you guys. As you can see in front of me, here we have the brand new, just released Mattel Jurassic World Dominion Roar Strikers Liopleurodon. This name is hard to pronounce, it's a little bit of an awkward name to pronounce, but it is an aquatic marine reptile. Finally another marine reptile from Mattel. We don't get too many of these. We've got the Mosasaurus, the Plesiosaurus, and now this Liopleurodon. And I will compare this figure to those other ones later on in the review, of course. I'm really excited to finally have a Liopleurodon from Mattel in the Jurassic World lineup. This has just been released and I got mine off Amazon UK and it was like 20 euros. So the price for these Roar Strikers has actually gone down here, which is great because 25 euros they used to be, which is really expensive in my opinion. So 20 euro for these now is definitely a more fitting price. This will probably be released soon elsewhere across the world, like in the States and stuff like that, and this is a part of the Wave 2 Roar Strikers lineup. So that's enough talking, let's just take a closer look at the packaging. So here of course we have the Jurassic World Dominion logo and that beautiful render of Rexy herself. We come across, we can see it says Roar Strikers Liopleurodon, and then we have ages 4+ and the Mattel logo. Then when we come up we can see the action feature of how that works. You can't actually activate the action feature in the box, which is rare. Normally they actually all work in these boxes, but because of the way this action feature is designed, you actually can't try it in the store. You'll have to wait till you open it. It doesn't actually work in the box. But you can also see the Jurassic Facts app compatibility callouts. Then up here we have a sound emblem to let you know this figure does make sounds. Come across we can see the helicopter and just that traditional packaging we're used to now for Jurassic World Dominion, and it's absolutely beautiful. I really love the Jurassic World Dominion packaging. On this end of the box we have the Jurassic World Dominion logo and a render of the Pyroraptor there, and on this end we just have the T-Rex emblem in the amber cut out there. Here's the back of the box, so you can see the Jurassic World Dominion logo. We have Liopleurodon again, we have a render of the actual figure itself there, the Jurassic Facts app compatibility again, and then here we have 3 other figures that are available in this Wave 2 lineup. So we have the Megaraptor, the Sinoceratops, and the Iguanodon. Down here we have the Mattel logo and then just some more legal information. So without any further ado, let's take this Liopleurodon out of the packaging. So here we have the Roar Strikers Liopleurodon out of the packaging, and as you can see it's at kind of an upright angle there. The fins and everything are posable, which allow it to pose like this, otherwise it's just kind of like lying flat like that on the table. Overall impressions are first off hand pretty cool. It's a pretty cool figure. It's a decent size actually. It's pretty cool. The flippers really add some size to it, which is cool. So first up, let's just take a closer look at the sculpt of this figure. So as you can see, there's a bunch of detail packed into the head there. It looks really good. There's a lot of finer scales there along the top of the head and along the side. The bottom jaw also has a lot of really nice finer detail and scales packed in, and there's also some like ridges and bumps kind of sticking out at the back of the jaw there too, which look great. The teeth also are really nicely sculpted actually. There's along the top there you can see the row of teeth, and that side there too. You can see the teeth along the bottom jaw there too. There's not too many teeth along the bottom jaw. It does look a little bit sparse with teeth. Could have done with maybe more along the bottom jaw, but still looks great. For the inside of the mouth there, you can see the tongue is sculpted, and there is some kind of texture sculpted onto the bottom of the tongue there, which just kind of gives it a more realistic appearance, and that is molded in a nice shiny pink color there to make it a bit more realistic. The roof of the mouth is really cool, so there's actually some like teeth sculpted on the inside of it there too, just like on the Mosasaurus figure. So that's really cool that there's kind of that second row of teeth on the roof of the mouth there, just like the Mosasaurus. Then when we move down the body, there is some really nice just kind of like lines sculpted in there, and then there is some larger kind of bumps as well sculpted. Overall the body itself isn't necessarily the most detailed figure we have from Mattel. I don't think the body kind of feels a little bit soft and detailed. There is detail, a lot of nice detail sculpted in, and there's like lines and creases and everything, but it is a little bit softer compared to the head. For example, the head has a lot of that finer scaling, and then the body has more kind of lines, but it probably makes sense for an aquatic reptile to have kind of scales along the head and then just kind of like lines and bumps and ridges along the body. Then we come out to the fin there. The fin has some actually really nice detail. There's some bumps and lines sculpted in there, and it kind of has the texture of a shark almost there, which looks cool. And there's a lot of like lines on this back fin here too. There's a lot of like lines that kind of look like maybe damage or where it's kind of been scraped, which make it look really cool. It kind of looks like a dolphin actually. If you've seen like the texture of a dolphin or a shark, it has that kind of scratch texture. It's not, you know, they're not perfect. They're living creatures, and that's kind of what this looks like. And I really, really like that detail there. It's really cool. I'm not sure if the Mosasaurus had that. I don't think it did, but that detail is really cool. It looks like it's kind of lived, you know, which is cool. Again, some really nice detail just running along the body there, and then we come out. The tail's pretty short on this dude, but we'll get more into that later on. But there is some more of those kind of scratches back there in the tail again, which are really cool, just like the fins. Like I said, it just makes the figure look like it's kind of been a real, you know, animal, and it's actually lived and been scraped and have fought and everything like that. So then when we turn it over to this side, of course the detail is the same. Really cool. Again, I love those kind of like scratches sculpted in there. It just makes it look like it's lived. Underneath the figure there, we can see we have a lot of scales as well underneath the jaw, and there's also some like muscle tendons and stuff like that sculpted in. If you catch in the light there, you can see that. It looks really cool. Some more kind of creasing and folds around the body. Underneath the actual main part of the body here, it is pretty soft on texture, but there is some detail sculpted in there. If you catch it in the light, you can see there's kind of like lines and ridges sculpted, which look pretty cool. Bottom of the fins as well have those kind of like lines sculpted in there for like kind of damage or where it's been just scratched and stuff like that. And then we come down here, there's just a bit more detail. It's pretty soft down here at this point, but overall the sculpt on this figure is pretty nice, and there's some really nice detail. Like I said, the head is very detailed, and also those like scratches in the flippers and the tail and underneath the body and everything are actually pretty cool, and it makes the figure look like, you know, it was an animal that kind of has lived, just like a shark or a dolphin. Now for the paint job of this Liopleurodon. So the main body itself was molded in this kind of gray blue. It's a very dark kind of blue gray color. It's not super bright. It's quite dark and subdued, and actually looks pretty similar to the color palette you'd see on a shark, which I really, really do like. It makes it look realistic and natural and like something you would actually find in the water as an aquatic reptile. And then just kind of there where the neck starts at the back of the head, we have this patterning, and it's kind of a brown color. I thought it would be black from pictures, but it's actually a brown color. I think maybe black might have worked a little bit nicer, but I still do like this color. It's just, it looks like a little bit desaturated or something, I'm not sure, but it's not bad. I still like it. So that kind of just starts there, that patterning, and it stops just before the button here. So it's on a very, very small portion. They definitely should have continued on, absolutely, to at least even down here. I think that would have looked a bit better if that had continued on, but it's not a deal breaker with this figure actually. I don't actually mind it too much. They kind of got away with it on this compared to some other figures. And then underneath here, the bottom jaw itself is molded in a kind of white color, and then the rest of the underneath of the body is painted in a white color too, and the paint just stops there just before the tail. And actually they painted a lot of the underbody of this figure, which is impressive. Normally they do not do that. So with this figure they used all of the paint budget underneath the body, and that patterning you can see along the side there, the way that white is patterned, that blend in with the blue is really cool. And I really, really like that white underneath. It's quite stark. And again, that dark bluey kind of grey that the main body and all the flippers and everything are molded in really contrasts quite well with that white underneath on the body there, and it looks really great. So I do appreciate that they did actually paint, you know, from here to just there with that white paint, and then the bottom jaw was molded in that white color, and then this sound box and the battery box there were molded in that same white color as the jaw there. For the head here we have a black eye, just a black eye. So I really, really love that. I absolutely love that black eye for this aquatic reptile. It looks really cool, and it is kind of shiny there. That white there in the eye is just a reflection of the light, so whatever way you move that just kind of reflects, and I really do appreciate that. It looks really cool the way that was done. The teeth are painted a nice kind of off-white creamy color, and then the inside of the mouth, I'm afraid to open it, it's gonna roar, I know, but the inside of the mouth is molded in a nice pink color that we're kind of used to, and so are the sides of the jaw there as well, and also the tongue along the bottom there is molded in that nice pink color as well. Overall, I actually really like the paint job on this Liopleurodon. It really does remind me of a great white shark with this main body dark kind of grey blue color with this white underneath, and then this just brown patterning just kind of adds a little bit more. Again, I would have liked to seen that carry down a little bit more, or maybe some spray kind of paint on the fins there. And for the Roar Striker lineup, I mean, they have been pretty basic with paint so far in the Roar Striker lineup, but this one I really do like the paint job on it. I think it looks pretty natural. You know, for what this species is, I think this paint job actually really works for it. Now for articulation, so we have the head and the neck whole area. I guess they're kind of tied to the action feature, which we'll take a look at in a minute. So for the articulation on this figure, really we just have the all the flippers can kind of move down and up like that, and they can also rotate like this. So they're just on a complete ball joint there, so they can just completely move in whatever kind of way you would like there, so out and in, and they can kind of move up as well like that. And all of these fins kind of do that. They're quite big as well, the fins. They're bigger than I thought they would be. So they can obviously all move the exact same. They can all move whatever way you want them to, so you can kind of get it in some interesting poses if you wish to kind of like stand it up, maybe like the Mosasaurus. You could do that. It looks a bit odd because it's like so tall up off the ground, but you can do it if you want. It kind of fell forward there, but it is nice to have all of those fins posable. I really do appreciate that they are all posable, so you kind of pose the figure in whatever way you would like. And then we also have another articulation point at the base here, so we have the tail, and that tail can just kind of rotate and spin 360 degrees. And that's it then for articulation on this figure. So you get 5 points of articulation on this figure. Now for the action feature on this Roar Striker figure. So there is a button on the back. So most of these Roar Strikers don't actually have a button on them. They normally, you push the body down and the head moves. But this one, there's a button on the back there. And when you press that button, there will be a head attack action feature. So you can listen to the sounds of this figure as well. It does make some pretty cool sounds. So the action feature on this figure is pretty cool. I really do like the sounds. Now the sounds are, some of them kind of do sound reused and maybe like slowed down from other sounds and stuff. But for what they are, I mean, they're pretty cool. Maybe some whale sounds in here, kind of mixed with some like crocodile sounds or something could have been cool. But for what it is, it's pretty cool. Then of course we do have the Jurassic Facts app scan code there. So if you want to scan that into your Jurassic Facts app, there is the code. And then of course on the back we have the T-Rex emblem to let you know it is an official Mattel Jurassic World product. Okay, and now it's time for some comparisons. So here we have the Liopleurodon next to Claire Deering here from the Jurassic World Dominion toy line, just to give you guys a kind of a sense of scale of how this figure scales up next to a human figure. So we can see they actually look really cool. You can see obviously the Liopleurodon is facing upward, like I said, in that standing position. But if I like lie Claire down, if we just lie it flat like that and lie Claire down flat here next to it, you can see there it is a long figure, and of course it's a lot longer than Claire there. Claire there is about the length of the head and neck of the Liopleurodon figure, or she's about the length of one fin there. So that just hopefully gives you guys a sense of, you know, that this is a pretty decent sized aquatic reptile figure. And here it is next to some other aquatic reptiles from Mattel. So we have the Plesiosaurus here from Mattel. So I have two different versions, the Battle Damage version and the Savage Strike version, but they're the same sculpt really, just different colors and different features. But you can see of course that if I just get one of these figures here, Plesiosaurus is quite a bit smaller than the Liopleurodon. Now I'm not sure how much what this size difference was in real life of the Liopleurodon and a Plesiosaurus, but these look really cool together, and I really love that Mattel is expanding their marine reptiles, and I really hope they continue to do so in the future because these look really cool. I really like both of these figures, but the teeth on the Liopleurodon, as you can see in comparison to the Plesiosaurus, these were super just tiny and blunt, whereas on the Liopleurodon they're actually really nice teeth. You know, they're sculpted in there and they look great, and I mean these look great together though anyway, you know. And I'm just really excited. I'm gonna have like a whole marine reptile kind of shelf now that we have this figure, and hopefully more from Mattel in the future. But yeah, these look really cool together. Here we have the Liopleurodon with the Mosasaurus. Now I have realized I've been pronouncing the name of this Liopleurodon kind of wrong for like the whole video, so I apologize for that. So as you can see, of course, the Mosasaurus is absolutely so massive compared to this, and it's so much bigger, of course, in length and height, in every way really. But these look really cool together still. I mean, we finally, you know, we've got another aquatic reptile from Mattel, which isn't something we get that often, like I've said previously. So it's great to have these two together, and they both have that nice kind of like creamy white underbelly. We kind of like both have like a blue kind of color to them, then to the top half of the figures. So yeah, Liopleurodon with Mosasaurus. And then I've got one more comparison here just for fun. I mean, this isn't a Jurassic figure, but this is I believe it's from Lanard, and they released it a few years back in their Dino Clash line. So that was their version of the Liopleurodon. And as you can see, it's quite exaggerated compared to the actual real life Liopleurodon, what that actually would have looked like. I mean, this Mattel version looks a lot more accurate compared to this one. This one was just kind of like a monster-fied version, really. And you can see that obviously in the teeth and just the way the whole figure is kind of sculpted. But I really loved the paint job on this figure. I wish Mattel were able to kind of give us paint jobs this detailed. But overall, I do think the Mattel Liopleurodon is much more accurate, you know, to the actual reptile in real life. So yeah, just want to do that little comparison with these two figures too. So that is my review of the brand new Mattel Jurassic World Dominion Roar Strikers Liopleurodon figure. Overall, I really do like this figure. It's a nice size, it has a nice sculpt, the paint job is pretty cool on it. I really appreciate that white underbelly that went down almost to the tip of the tail. It went down just to where the tail starts there. So I do appreciate that they gave us that much paint underneath the figure. It's not something we always see. And the black, or the kind of brown patterning, should I say, along the top there, looks cool. It would have been nice, like I said, if there was more of that, but for what it is pretty cool. The sounds are pretty cool. They do kind of sound like recycled from some other figures from Mattel, and they probably just changed up the pitch or the speed of the roar to kind of just make it sound a little bit different. So I do appreciate that it's changed a little bit there. And yeah, I mean, it's a decent size as well, like I said, and it will look great alongside your other marine reptiles from Mattel, such as the Plesiosaurus and the Mosasaurus. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really do hope you enjoyed. If you did, please make sure to hit that like button down below, and also don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the bell to be notified every time I upload a new video, because I actually have quite a few more Wave 2 videos coming of the Mattel Jurassic World Dominion toy line, so make sure to keep your eyes peeled. There's some really cool videos coming up, like the Dr. Alan Grant and Dimetrodon story pack, and also some of the Wave 2 Ferocious packs, such as the Baby Nasutoceratops and Dimetrodon, and also have the massive Outpost Chaos playset arriving in a few days, so I will have a review on the channel for that playset too. I'm very excited to take a look at that with you guys. So like I said, make sure to hit that bell to be notified every time I upload one of those brand new videos. So thanks so much for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Until next time, peace out. Rah, rah.